Welcome back to my YouTube channel Old Coins Value, where we explore the rich stories behind the coins that have passed through the hands of generations, and today we dive deep into the fascinating journey of the 1981 dime coin, also known as the Roosevelt Dime, named in honor of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This small but historically significant coin holds a remarkable place in American numismatic history, and to truly understand its importance, we must travel back in time to the origins of the dime itself and examine how the coin evolved through the centuries to arrive at the version minted in 1980. The story of the dime begins in the late 18th century when the Coinage Act of 1792 established the United States Mint and authorized the creation of various denominations, including the dime, which was originally spelled disme, derived from the French word for tenth. As the coin was intended to represent 1/10 of a dollar, the first dimes were struck in 1796, featuring the draped bust design, which soon gave way to the capped bust and then the seated Liberty designs, each reflecting the artistic styles and political ideals of their respective eras. As the United States grew and evolved, so too did its coinage, and by the late 19th century the barber dime had entered circulation, followed by the iconic Mercury dime in 1916, which became a beloved symbol of American resilience and liberty during the challenging years of World War I and the Great Depression. However, the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945 prompted a nationwide call for a new design that would honor his legacy, particularly his leadership through the Depression and the Second World War, and his association with the March of Dimes, a movement aimed at combating polio, which had personally affected him. Thus, in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was introduced, featuring a left-facing portrait of the president designed by John Arsenic, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The obverse bore Roosevelt's image, while the reverse displayed a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by olive and oak branches representing peace and strength, respectively. This design would remain largely unchanged for decades and became a staple of American pocket change, reflecting both Roosevelt's enduring influence and the Mint's commitment to patriotic symbolism. By 1980, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for over 3 decades, but the context of that year introduced a variety of economic and political factors that made even a small coin like the dime a reflection of larger national issues. The United States was emerging from a decade of inflation, economic stagnation, and international uncertainty, with rising prices affecting everything from food to gas and the value of the dollar fluctuating on the global stage. During this period, the Mint continued producing dimes with high consistency and precision, with the Philadelphia and Denver mints handling the majority of production, while San Francisco produced proof coins for collectors. The 1980 Roosevelt dime, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, was historically notable because it marked the first time since the early 20th century that the Philadelphia Mint placed a P-Mint mark on coins. Specifically, starting in 1980, the P-Mint mark began appearing on Roosevelt dimes, signaling a new era of transparency and collectability for modern coinage. This simple change made the 1980 P dime a historically relevant issue among collectors and numismatists, who saw it as the beginning of a new phase in modern minting practices. Technically, the 1980 Roosevelt dime maintained the same specifications established in 1965 following the Coinage Act of that year, which had eliminated silver from circulating dimes. The clad composition introduced at that time consisted of a pure copper core bonded to outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, resulting in a total weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. The edge was reeded with precisely 118 reeds, giving the coin both a distinct tactile feel and an anti-counterfeiting feature. The use of clad metals was a response to rising silver prices and economic pressures, which made It no longer feasible to produce everyday coins from precious metals. The dies used to strike the 1980 dimes were carefully crafted to ensure clarity and durability, yet, as with any mass production process, a variety of errors. A distinct tactile feel and an anti-counterfeiting feature, the use of clad metals was a response to rising silver prices and economic pressures, which made it no longer feasible to produce everyday coins from precious metals. The dies used to strike the 1980 dimes were carefully crafted to ensure clarity and durability, yet, as with any mass production process, a variety of errors and anomalies occurred, giving rise to a number of valuable and sought-after varieties for collectors. These included off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and other minting defects that have since become highly prized by error coin specialists. In particular, collectors have sought out examples with strong full bands on the reverse indicating a well-struck torch, which serves as a benchmark for coin grading at higher levels. Beyond its technical details, the 1980 Roosevelt Dime can be seen as a cultural artifact reflecting the values and aesthetics of late 20th century America. Its modest size and appearance belie its historical significance and the pivotal role it plays in everyday commerce. Coin collectors prize it not just for its potential rarity, but for the connection it offers to the broader narrative of American life during a time of transition politically. The country was on the brink of electing Ronald Reagan to the presidency, marking a conservative shift economically. It was grappling with the challenges of globalization and inflation, and socially it was navigating the complex realities of a changing world. The Roosevelt Dime of 1980 also serves as a lens through which we can examine the evolution of numismatic appreciation in the modern era. During this period, coin collecting became increasingly popular, with Americans turning to their pocket change in search of treasures and historical artifacts. Organizations such as the American Numismatic Association saw growing membership, and more individuals began learning about grading, preservation, and market values for coins. Even a common coin like the 1980 dime gained new attention as people realized that coins from this era were soon to become vintage collectibles, especially those in mint state condition or with unique characteristics. In recent decades, the 1980 Roosevelt Dime has found a new audience among collectors who appreciate its significance as a transition year coin. The presence of the P mint mark, the continuation of the classic Roosevelt design, and the potential for errors all contribute to its desirability in the numismatic community. When preserved in high grades such as MS65 and above, the coin can command higher prices in the collector market, and proof versions minted in San Francisco hold additional appeal for those seeking perfection in strike and finish. As we reflect on the 1981 dime coin, we are reminded that even the smallest pieces of change can tell monumental stories about our nation, our leaders, our economy, and our values. From its origins in the vision of the Founding Fathers to the influence of President Roosevelt to the economic challenges of the late 20th century, the dime has served not just as a monetary unit, but as a storytelling device, a silent witness to history that continues to circulate in our lives and in our memories. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist, a casual collector, or simply someone curious about the coins in your pocket, the 1980 Roosevelt Dime offers a unique opportunity to explore the convergence of design, history, politics. Someone curious about the coins in your pocket, the 1980 Roosevelt Dime offers a unique opportunity to explore the convergence of design, history, politics, and economics in one humble piece of metal, and it is this intersection that makes coin collecting not just a hobby but a journey through time.